Let's take a look at what bats that eat fruit and pollen and nectar contribute, starting with the Sonoran Desert here in the United States. From the southwestern U.S. all the way out into the Caribbean and down to Chile and the Andes, there are literally hundreds of species of agave and cactus plants that rely mostly on bats for pollination or seed dispersal or both. This long-nosed bat is pollinating a cardone cactus, the world's biggest cactus. It gets up to 60 feet tall. Bats carry more pollen farther and more seeds farther than any other pollinator or seed disperser. These bats have been documented to carry pollen at least 60 miles one way in a single night. The plants that they're servicing provide food and shelter for all sorts of other wildlife. This Gila woodpecker is nesting in a cardone cactus, feeding its chicks the fruit of another species of bat-dependent cactus. And these long-nosed bats are obviously doing a great job of pollinating the agave from which all tequila and much of the mezcal industry of Mexico relies. Multi-billions of dollars annually that could be lost without bats. As we go farther south into the rainforest area, approximately half of all mammal species are bats. And they play absolutely crucial roles in maintaining these forests that have been likened to the lungs and air filters of our planet. This is a Corollia bat. Just one of these little bats can carry as many as 60,000 seeds to new locations in a single night. If even 1/10 of 1% of those seeds survives to land in a place where it can grow into a new seedling, that's a hell of a lot of new seedlings every year from just one bat. Go around all the way to the other side of the world to the savannas of East Africa, and we find the giant baobab, one of the world's most famous trees, a tree that is often eulogized as literally a tree of life because it supports so many other animals, is in turn dependent upon bats for pollination. And the fruit of this, as is so often the case, bat pollinated and seed dispersed plants of great ecological value are also of great economic value. It's been discovered in recent years that the baobab's fruit is one of the richest sources of natural vitamins in the world, and its fruit now sells for $1 billion a year. Go to Southeast Asia, and I mentioned the durian, a multi-billion-dollar a year fruit crop that can't be grown even in an orchard without bats to pollinate the flowers. And yet, believe it or not, everywhere I have been, from the Philippines to Thailand, farmers growing durian commonly put up nets and try to kill the very bats that are pollinating their flowers. Why do they do that? Because these flowers, as soon as they've been pollinated, they drop their petals and non-essential remaining parts to the ground. So the farmer sees all these bats come into his orchard, and as they're leaving, the flowers are all falling to the ground, and they're thinking, oh my God, I'll be lucky if I have any crop at all this year. So they completely misunderstand what's going on. I haven't found a single one of those farmers that I couldn't convince in 10 minutes or less that the bats are actually essential rather than harmful. And yet, things like this continue to go on today for a lack of scientists who care enough to stop and talk to people about reality. Where would the world be without bananas? Our modern bananas are severely threatened by fungal diseases that can only be treated with genes from wild ancestral types of bananas that still remain resistant. What happens if through neglect of bats we lose this wild progenitor species of bananas? What happens to future crop production?